Hello and welcome to Flat Rate Advisor, tutorial number 4. In this video we're going to be creating parts and tasks. So let's get started. Now open your program to the main screen, click on the Parts button. And that brings us to the Parts screen. Now you'll notice down in the grid here, all our parts are grouped by category. For instance, Aprilaire, Armstrong pump, bearings, blower, blower wheel, gas boiler, and so on. Now these groupings can be expanded by clicking on the little plus sign just to the left. It will open up to expose all of the parts within that category. Now here we have Aprilaire. We can select a part, such as this Aprilaire electronic air cleaner, and we can edit it up above here. Category, part name, description, and cost. Now these items over here, they're slightly grayed out. That means they cannot be edited. Part number, the number of parts in the database, and the number of tasks using the part. Now you might wonder why we can't change a part number. Well, if we click on this little question mark here, you'll get a message. And if you need to change a part number, you need to delete this part and create a new part. If a part number changes, generally that is a whole different part in and of itself, and it needs to be recreated as a completely new part. So you would delete the old one and create a new one with the new part number. Down below we have a standard record navigation bar where we can move through the records. We can go to the very last record in the database. We can go to the very first one in the database. You'll see right here we have 10,563 parts currently in the database. Let's take a look at how to create a new part. Simply click the new button. You'll get a pop-up with part name, part description, and part number. So let's go ahead and create a part. And once you have the data entered, go ahead and click Save. And it adds that part to the database. And we created a heat-cool thermostat. If we scroll down through the categories, we'll find our heat-cool thermostat right here that we just created. Part number, description, price, and a system ID, which we don't need to be concerned with. That's strictly for system reference. Now to delete a part, it's just as simple. Select your part, click delete, confirm, and it's gone. Now we can just as easily delete multiple items. Let's open up the Aprilaire category again and say we want to delete 4 of these items right here. We'll select them, put a check in the box, we'll click delete, we'll get confirm, and you'll notice this time it says, do you want to permanently delete selected items? Click yes, finish deleting selected items, and they're gone. And alternatively, we can delete an entire category. Let's say we want to delete this all thread superstrut category. We'll select the category itself, click delete, confirm, and it's gone. Now I've gone ahead and selected a part here at random, a 115 volt multi-horsepower blower motor. Selected it over here in the box. And we're going to go up here to show tasks using part. And what this will do is show all the tasks in the database that are using that particular part. There we go. There are 2 tasks in our current database that are using that part. One of them is a gas furnace repair and one of them is an oil furnace. We have the same price and we have the same part number. Notice we do have different repair codes because one is on a gas furnace, one is on an oil furnace. So we'll close that, go back to the main screen. Now with this button, we can do a global price adjust of our entire database. For instance, if your supplier applies a 3% increase on all parts across the board, you would go in here and select 3%. You would select all parts by clicking this top checkbox, and you would click Adjust. You'll get a message, Confirm Price Increase. If you continue, selected parts prices will be increased by 3%. Now this could take quite a while depending on how many parts you have in your database, so I'm not going to go ahead with that. We'll click Cancel. Now another way you can do this, which is probably going to be a lot more common of a situation for you, is do a global increase on just a single category. For instance, our B&G pumps. We'll just select that category and we'll apply our 3% increase. We'll click Yes this time. And there we go. We've applied a 3% increase to the category of B&G pumps. You can do multiple categories at once. Or as I originally demonstrated, you can do the entire database. Now, as well as increasing prices, you can go down to a negative. You can discount prices by any percentage you like. You'll notice the small negative symbol before the number. So we'll take it back up to 0. Now, as with all the grids throughout the program, you can sort and group items. For instance, we can sort the part column A to Z, or reverse Z to A. And we can also do that with these other columns as well. We can do it by part number. We can sort by description. We can sort by cost, lowest to the highest, highest to the lowest. And with these grids throughout the program, you can also do a grouping. And by that I mean you can group by items in a column. I'm going to take the cost category and I'm going to drag it up to this area right here and drop it. And then we'll see over here. And it has just grouped all of our parts by cost. We can't see that yet. We need to drill down into a category to take a look. So we'll open Aprilaire again. And here we have our grouping. Grouped by cost. We drill down further and we can see every item in that category that matches that grouped cost. Every item that's 85 cents. There's a multiple. We have 2 air cleaners for 156.52 grouped together. To ungroup, simply drag it back to its original position and drop it. And now we're back to normal. And we're back to the main screen. Now we're going to go to the Build Task screen. Okay, on this screen, this is where we create tasks using parts from our parts database. That's the parts database that we were just at a moment ago. Let's say we want to create a task to replace a blower motor and capacitor. So we're going to scroll down here and find blower motor. We're going to select the blower motor that we'd like. I will select a 3/4 horse 115 volt direct drive. Now we need to create a new task and click this button, New Task with Parts. If you're creating a new task with parts, that button. If you're doing a labor-only task, you would click this button. So we do have parts. We're going to click that. We've got our part selected. We're going to add part to task. We can have up to 5 parts in a single task. Now we're going to need to add a capacitor. So we're going to scroll down and find our capacitor category. right there. And we will select the 5 MFD capacitor and we'll add it to the task. Now we need to select a category for our task. And what are we creating this task for? Is it for an air conditioner, a gas furnace, a heat pump? We're going to say a gas furnace. Next is our minutes entry. Now we want to enter the actual amount of minutes that it's going to take to install that part and any additional parts. We're not including diagnostic time. We're not including travel time. This is only the amount of minutes that it will take to actually install the parts in this task, because our diagnostic and our travel, that's accounted for elsewhere in the program. Since it's 2 parts and it is a 3/4 horse, let's go ahead and increase that. We'll give it 45 minutes. And we have a couple check boxes right here. Include this task in books. Yes, we're going to include it. That's why we're creating it. Show new task after saving. That will just show us what we created. I'll go ahead and select that so you can take a look at it. And then with each task, we can put a comment line under that task. And this comment will appear in the books right under the flat rate repair. It could be something like, includes wire nuts, ties, and check blower wheel. Or you can leave it blank if you want, but we'll just leave that line in there. And right now, we have the option to save, or we could reset all and go back to the beginning. But we're going to save this task. We'll just save once again to be sure, and then we'll close everything out. And that is how you create a task. That's all for this lesson. We'll see you next time. This is Tim from V7 Software Development.